For decades, the rest of the world has just kind of written off loving cats as this quirky little character trait. Like, oh, you're a cat person. But being naturally drawn to a tiny creature that literally just watches you silently from the top of the refrigerator, well, it turns out that is not just some random personality quirk. It is actually a deeply profound biological and psychological fingerprint. So, what does your preference for cats secretly reveal about your brain? In today's Explainer, we are diving deep. We're going to uncover the hidden physiological, personality, and honestly kind of wild evolutionary reasons behind your affinity for felines. We'll explore how you process emotions, how you regulate stress, and how your nervous system literally goes about seeking safety. By the end of this, I promise you'll see that your love for cats isn't random at all. Section 1, the crazy cat person myth. Let's be real for a second. Modern culture absolutely loves to treat being energetic, loud, and constantly available as the ultimate baseline for being a healthy human. And because of that, we're left with this completely unfair pop culture myth of the crazy cat lady or the cold antisocial loner. Just because cat people don't perform their emotions at maximum volume, society completely mislabels them. But science tells a totally different story. The reality is, cat people aren't actively avoiding connection at all. They are just avoiding unnecessary stimulation. They're actually highly discerning. So what looks like emotional distance to an outsider is in reality a deeply regulated and observant internal state. Which brings us to this incredible idea. The absence of constant expression is not emotional absence, it's regulation. That really shifts the whole perspective, doesn't it? Cat people are incredibly observant. They are the ones tracking those tiny, subtle shifts in tone, in body language, basically the whole emotional weather of a room. They absolutely do not lack emotional depth. They just don't feel this exhausting need to broadcast their inner world to everyone just to prove they're engaged. They notice a whole lot more while saying a whole lot less. Section 2, the cat person personality profile. Okay, so when psychologists actually test cat people, this totally fascinating data pattern pops right up. First off, they show high openness. This means they are incredibly comfortable with complexity, art, ambiguity. They definitely don't settle for these simple black and white answers. Second, they have lower extroversion. Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean they're socially incompetent. It just means their energy flows inward first. Social engagement genuinely costs them energy. They like people for sure, just, in smaller manageable doses. And finally, higher neuroticism. Now, I know that word sounds bad, but hear me out. In psychology, it really just means heightened sensitivity and early stress detection. Actually, let's just pause and completely redefine neuroticism right now, because getting this right is absolutely crucial. Neuroticism is not instability. It is a highly tuned sensitivity to overstimulation. Think of it like an incredibly advanced early warning system. Cat people literally notice stress earlier and feel those emotional shifts so much quicker than others. So a constantly barking dog or a super chaotic, unstructured social environment, that can feel genuinely intrusive, even overwhelming, to a nervous system that is already tuned to that finely.
Section 3, regulating the nervous system.
The real core of all this comes down to how we process our environment. Some people's nervous systems actually feel calmer with tons of interaction, external feedback, and discharging energy. That is external regulation, and man, dogs are perfect for that. We all know that lovable, chaotic energy of a golden retriever just rushing at you, matching your excitement. But other nervous systems, they regulate completely differently. They need stillness, predictability, the total absence of pressure. Enter the cat. A cat doesn't rush at you to discharge energy. It just kind of settles into a space and quietly invites you to settle right there with it. There's zero demand to perform. And for a highly sensitive system, that calm isn't boredom. It is pure recovery. And this physically changes you through something called the purr cascade. This is wild. A cat's purr operates at this very specific low-frequency rhythm. And when your body senses that rhythm, it acts as an automatic biological signal of safety. Literally before your conscious brain even realizes you're comfortable, your breathing deepens, your muscle tension starts to soften, and your stress hormones actually physically drop. That steady, gentle hum of a purr just fills the space without ever invading it, physically grounding your nervous system. Section 4, evolution, biology, and brain parasites. All right, let's talk about how cats basically hijacked our evolution. Have you ever wondered why we feel this totally irrational, intense urge to protect what is, let's face it, a highly efficient solitary predator? It's all about baby schema.
Cats possess these specific visual cues, like unusually large eyes, a rounded little head, a tiny nose. And evolution literally hardwired human beings to respond to those exact cues so we wouldn't abandon our own infants. So when a cat looks up at you, your brain doesn't register hunter, it registers baby. It triggers this immediate automatic impulse to provide warmth and protection before you even have a chance to think about it. But here is where things take a slightly unsettling turn. Is your love for cats actually your choice? Seriously, because there is a somewhat controversial scientific theory out there that suggests human agency might not be the only thing pulling the strings here. Enter Toxoplasma gondii, the microscopic passenger. Okay, this is a tiny brain parasite that can only reproduce inside the gut of a cat. To get there, it infects rodents and literally alters their brain chemistry. It erases their natural fear of cats and actually makes them attracted to cat scent, practically steering them right into a cat's path. Now, humans can carry this parasite too, and while scientists are still heavily debating this, some emerging research raises a pretty wild question. Could this tiny parasite be subtly reducing our own aversion to cats, or even slightly cranking up our affection for them? It's a crazy thought, but it reminds us that we aren't just purely rational beings. We're walking ecosystems completely shaped by biology and chemistry.
Section 5, Attachment, Boundaries, and Consent.
Ultimately, this all leads us to the feline model of connection. You know, human relationships are usually packed with all these unspoken demands. The pressure to respond, to reassure people, to constantly match someone else's emotional energy. And if you're a sensitive person, that is just exhausting. But with cats, affection is offered, it is never imposed. There's absolutely no expectation of an emotional performance. It is all about mutual respect for boundaries and experiencing a deep connection without any intrusion. For anyone who feels totally drained by the constant emotional negotiations of human relationships, this kind of one-directional, low-demand companionship is just profoundly comforting.
And this perfectly explains a really crucial realization. Solitude isn't isolation, it's cognitive freedom. There's a reason writers, artists, and deep thinkers have always gravitated toward cats. Deep, meaningful thought requires long, uninterrupted stretches of mental quiet. Constant interruption shatters that focus. But cats, they can beautifully coexist right alongside your focus without demanding that you engage with them. Their quiet, non-intrusive presence literally protects the mental space you need for ideas to mature. They basically validate your right to just exist in a room without having to provide constant commentary. Which brings us to, I think, the most profound realization about cat people. Love means so much more when it's completely voluntary. Cat people intuitively value affection that's rooted in mutual consent, attunement, and respect, rather than just obligatory loud intensity. With a cat, you have to earn that affection. They absolutely do not take your emotional proximity for granted. So when a cat finally chooses to sit in your lap, it feels incredibly genuine because you know for a fact it wasn't forced. True safety for a cat person isn't found in overwhelming intensity, it is found in mutual consent.
So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Does your nervous system feel safest when it isn't asked to perform? If you find yourself deeply drawn to cats, it does not mean you're cold, and it definitely doesn't mean you're disconnected. It just means you are biologically wired for presence without pressure. Your system finds its absolute peace in environments where nothing is forcing you to be louder or faster than you actually are.